So that process that you saw in the previous video of using the French polish neat, cutting back, repolishing, etc. I'm still working on that, and this now is the 5th application of the polish neat, and I imagine it's probably going to be the last one, because I'm very happy with the way I've built up a body of shellac on the instrument. You'll also remember that in the previous video I mentioned about using oil to stop the pad sticking. Now I'm finding that everything is feeling a little bit sticky, and what I don't want to do is to pull off any of the shellac that I've painstakingly built up. You know, at this stage there's a chance of kind of overworking it, for want of a better word. So I'm going to start introducing the oil now. Now, as far as the type of oil is concerned, I've tried lots of different ones, but what I find works well for me, and I'll emphasise for me, because you know, people will, maybe they push harder, maybe they use a different shellac and a different cloth, and maybe, you know, a different oil will suit them. But what works for me is bog standard sunflower cooking oil, and I put some in a syringe again, and when I apply it, hopefully you can see this, I'll come a bit closer, I don't know if it'll go out of focus. I've got a syringe, and all I'm going to put on there, I can get rid of that bubble, all I'm going to put on there is the tiniest of dabs. There you go, that's all, just a tiny dab. I'm not saturating it, and you'll feel straight away how different it is. It really glides over the pad. You can push harder if you want to, without fear of the pad sticking. And also you'll notice when you're doing it yourself, it will probably start to get shinier. As I say, you don't need a lot of oil, and I think as also excuse me, also as I said in the previous video, my kind of mantra when doing this is use as little of everything as possible. So, you know, that includes a tiny little dab of the oil, but you will find it makes a tremendous difference to the way the pad performs. The other thing I meant to say to you is, if you are French polishing, cut your fingernails. It's so easy to have a finger dangling and slip and score the wood, particularly on the soundboard. And then of course you're going to have to sand off the polish that you put on. Maybe you're going to have to steam a dent out, sand a dent out of the soundboard. And it's something that can be so easily avoidable just by that little bit of forward planning. And of course, if you're a classical guitar player with long fingernails, not quite sure what you do, maybe you don't French polish, maybe you spray your instrument instead. But there you go, that's my little top tip. So this is now about an hour and a half after I've done the last of my French polishing. So what I'm going to do now is, with the pad, get some methylated spirits, alcohol, whatever you're using, and we just wipe that over the areas that we've been polishing. Got to keep it moving quickly. And what that will do is it will just clean off any of the residue oil. And any dust or whatever that's settled on there. So that's that. So wherever you've polished using oil, a quick wipe over with whatever the solvent is you're using. So that's that session of polishing finished, and what I was doing there really is concentrating on one side, the back and the neck. Tomorrow I'll flip it over, concentrate on the top plate, the other side and the head overlay, and then that will be left for 24 hours or so before I then cut it back, and then I'm going to start applying some thinned down French polish. As I feel now, I'm approaching the final coats, and again you'll see that in the next video. So until then, take care.